Hey everyone, Tony here. I'm going to give an update from last week's S&P 500 review, the macro. So basically opened up the same chart and wanted to just kind of see what this week's action or last week's action, where we're at now. So this is on a weekly. We can see that this we're basically respecting that 23.6 level. Fibonacci level. So we have to see, and it's definitely below this trend line. Are we going to break past this 23.6 and test out the 38.2? I don't know. I think it's very likely if it keeps heading in this direction. The 500 EMA looks like it's touching the 61.8. That could be a level. I mean, that's basically a perfect, not a perfect, but almost as close to perfect horizontal there if you want to draw it out, which we can if we wanted to just, for giggles, just put it there. It's almost pretty much right there. Just below the 61.8 level at 302. It could break down all the way there. It still wouldn't be a terrible correction. It would just be a deeper correction, and some people would probably freak out. The 200 EMA is right now right here at the 265 range, but it would have to break this horizontal resistance, so I'm not even looking there, honestly. Not yet. I'll take this horizontal off because the 61.8 level is pretty clear. You know what I would like to see? So I'm going to draw a horizontal. This is basically how I try to gauge not really momentum, but the trend. So I try to draw a 45 to see where this leads us. So it looks like we broke past it. We can kind of just draw it there now and see how well it respects this level. Well, for me personally, it doesn't have to be a precise 45. It just gives you a very good idea of, of where a trend a healthy trend should, be headed. So I adjusted this just to kind of respect this particular level here, that wick high. So if we see price respecting this on the way down, basically using this trend line as, touching but staying below it, then we will maintain we're going to be in a bearish downtrend. How long it goes, who knows? It could just keep going down, down, down here, touch 38.2, break past it, and then keep going higher, at which case this trend line will have to revert a little bit, which we're not going to do right now. But that just basically just gives us a general idea of what we may expect on the weekly. Let's go to the daily. So the daily should be very, very interesting. So now we have that same trend line that I had on the previous. You can see that it's acting, before it was acting as support, now it's acting as pretty strong resistance. So we're bouncing between that trend line and the 50 EMA, also the Fibonacci 23.6. So these levels are important right now. If this breaks, not only does it break the 23.6 on the Fibonacci, but if we break the 50 EMA, we're looking most likely as first stop to 38.2, so the 315 level. I'm pretty sure I brought that up in the last video, but let's kind of draw a 45. Actually, let's do it from this one here. Let's draw that 45 here, and you can see that it actually respects. This is actually a perfect example of that trend line 45 degree that I was bringing up last for the 1 week. You can see that it's respecting it very, very well. So this is my guideline. This is pretty much how I like to trade. I like to keep it kind of simple and just go off of these trend lines. I mean, you don't have to complicate it. Trend lines, Fibonacci, these horizontals. I mean, you don't have to go too crazy. Let's go back to the weekly, actually. I'm working in reverse here. I didn't touch up on the stochastic or the RSI. So the RSI, it's basically, let me see here, it touched the 80, which is kind of extreme because the default RSI for that is 70, being overbought in traditional terms. So we were quote unquote overbought, which again, I've said it before, but it doesn't mean that it's literally overbought. It just means that it's in a very bullish zone, and it could lead to a pullback, but it could remain there for a long time, and it just means that it's just a strong stock, or a strong index or whatever it may be. So, but it broke down. It broke down past the EMA, and that's relative. I mean, that's pretty not crazy bearish because we're still in a bullish zone, but it's just it's not a good sign. So we have to see. Hopefully, it price bounce off these levels and continue making higher highs. If not, then we can expect some more lows. Stochastic is interesting because it's actually been in that overbought region again, quote unquote, since October 2019, and it just broke below it a little while ago, maybe in the last week or so. So breaking below the 80 is where I keep my eyes open, but we can see that historically it's been since, let's see here, since January 2019. So basically for a year it's remained over the 50 on the RSI, that mid level. So we might be able to see a pullback all the way down here. Where that leaves us in price, I'm not sure, but that could be a 61.8 retracement. We'll have to see. So let's go back to the daily. So on the daily, we have basically all these trends and whatnot. So we have the RSI here. It actually broke below the 50. Last time that happened was not too long ago. It was October. Well, actually October 2019. We had a little bit of a pullback, and that's basically interesting. So now we have to see how this reacts here. Is it going to bounce off the 50 and keep going lower, or is it going to break past it and go higher? So time will tell. We're not really sure yet, but right now it's looking like it's a neutral, but it's looking a little more on the bearish side, and we can actually draw a trend line to see if this eventually becomes bullish again. So let's see what happens in the next couple days. Is it going to break past and play with this trend line or not? The stochastic is pretty bearish right now, and it's actually making a lower low. Let me see. Yeah, it looks like it's making a lower low now. So yeah, that's also not a good sign there. So I think that there's a very likely some more lows to go. On the daily, it definitely looks more bearish in my point of view. It's respecting this trend line here. Just touch, go, touch, go, touch, go. We'll see how it keeps going with this 50 EMA. If it keeps going lower, we might be able to see a 61.8 and maybe bounce off of that level. So it's pretty interesting here for the S&P 500 and the markets in general. I'll keep a close eye on this particular trend line here, because if we see here, it's not looking very clear. But if we redraw this a little bit better here, it looks like it's trying to break past it. So let's see what happens there. This is a very key spot right here, because trend line and the 50 level, the midpoint of the RSI is actually, I want to see what's going to happen. Is it going to bounce up of that, go lower, or is it going to just break through it? So to me, that's interesting. Very interesting. It's going to be telling in the next couple of days. And that's basically it. Right now, it looks more bearish in my point of view on the daily. But this can all change in a heartbeat. There might be some news that this coronavirus gets, there's a vaccine for it, or it's not as bad as it seems. Any kind of news, positive news, we'll see this probably break and hit all-time highs. If there's no news, it'll probably stagnate here or maybe dip down to 38.2. If there's terrible news that this virus is much worse than people expected and who knows what, I expect this trend line to continue. But it's all, again, fundamentals will trump any kind of technical analysis. This is more of a probabilities, statistics, and whatnot on what's going to happen or what should happen to price. There are no guarantees here. But hopefully this helps. Maybe if you're kind of not sure if to keep putting more money into the S&P 500 or whatnot, don't take this as financial advice. Just use this as an opinion, somebody's opinion on what is going on in the market, at least technical wise and the charts. And hopefully we can keep an eye on this and see what happens in the next couple of days. So next week's review of the S&P 500, I'm looking forward to it to see what the next 5 days gives us in that aspect. So we'll see. Keep an eye out on this RSI trend line here. Keep an eye on this bearish or just basically I don't know, I wouldn't say bearish yet, but this little downtrend, let's just keep an eye on that. And hopefully this is a video you enjoy. If you do like it, please like it. If you don't, I guess there's that other button. If you want to subscribe and see what else I'm kind of posting on I'm trying to post once a week. I'm sorry, daily, basically Monday through Friday. At least 5 videos to get me in the habit of doing this kind of thing. Any other videos or assets that you guys may want to talk about? I don't know if you guys want to talk about bonds or anything really. Any other stocks, any crypto, anything whatsoever. I enjoy this stuff, so this makes it fun for me. Yeah, basically it. Thank you so much. Subscribe if you can, like if you can, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you. Bye-bye.